I forgot how much I hate boats.
Are you alright, Sensei? You did say you'd explain what we're doing here when we'd arrived.
I'll be fine. So, there is an old ruin on the island here where the natural flow of ki has stagnated. I think you said you tried it before, didn't you? I'd like you to do the same thing here. I learned that a particular material is required for the job, and through meticulous research, I've managed to ascertain which kemono to hunt to obtain it. It's a kemono called Jigokuzaru, or lava back.
As far as we know, it's lived on this island since ancient times. Apparently, Minato's hunters have never been a match for it.
Even I can see that I'm asking a lot. If it seems too much for you, return to Minato and reconsider your approach.
I hear that the lavaback lives on the north side, but there are other kemono on the island too. Perhaps hunting some of those first would be a good plan. Then I can make you stronger equipment with the materials.
Let's hope this really does help Minato flourish again.
Sensei?
Sorry, I was muttering to myself. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. I've taken the liberty of adding a rather special karakuri to your gauntlet. I have a matching one, and together they'll allow us to communicate when we're too far away to speak to each other. It'll all become clear once you use it.
Well done! You defeated it.
I can see why you're in such demand. All right, we're on our way. The ruins are at the heart of the island. We'll take a known safe route.
It's a long way, Sensei. Are you sure you're feeling up to it?
Not really, but I couldn't possibly miss this.
Well, well. Again we meet. It seems you have a knack for cheating death. As a hunter, I see you have grown. The fire in your eyes burns stronger now. Fitting that our paths cross here, in the sacred land of the ancient hunters. Traces of their aspirations remain, both within you and without. Once it was so that hunters were born here, raised here, and would die on this soil. But in time, they expanded their horizons, crossing the sea to Azuma. But that migration was only possible with the power of Karakuri. With the knowledge and technology possessed only by those hunters of old. Sadly, all that was no longer is. The haven the hunters built for themselves in Azuma was washed away by the rain of 1,000 days. A great flood that covered all the land. What few hunters survived dispersed northward or westward, taking with them what little knowledge remained of Karakuri. All that was left behind crystallized to become the seed. So you see, all that was left behind now exists within you. You need only hunt, and trust that in so doing,
Over there, look! Oi!
Sorry to keep you. Your successful defeat of the kimono means we can proceed with the... Oh. Are you sure? Anyway, never mind. You remember we discussed how you're enabled to conjure and command Karakuri anywhere you like? Well, the reason for that is intimately tied to a form of energy known as celestial thread. Think about when you create Karakuri out of nothing. It's the motive force behind all Karakuri. The larger and more complex the Karakuri, you've probably noticed already as you've been walking around, that we can only imagine that at one time it was functioning as intended.
For some reason.
Precisely. Ki and celestial thread are essentially the same thing. Legend tells that this place is actually an elaborate machine used to divert celestial thread to another location. And I'm sure by now you can deduce what location that is. Yes! Minato! Which means that if we're successful here, all the Karakuri that have been gathering dust in Minato until now should suddenly spring to life!
I was starting to think I'd never see them working again.
What we're trying to achieve here is crucial to the survival of the town. The influence of the kimono is growing all the time, and we have no way to defend ourselves. Sooner or later, we'll be forced to abandon Minato. So after many long discussions among the elders, they decided we should work towards restoring the town's Karakuri to give us the means to fight back. Which is why your task here is to use your skills to wake up this ancient place.
Oh, Minato's Karakuri working again. I just can't imagine it.
It's exciting, isn't it? I have memories from my early childhood when they were still working.
It's amazing to think this whole place is basically one large Karakuri. I wonder just how advanced the ancient hunters' technology was.
And look at the celestial thread weaving its way. Oh, this I have to study.
So, we did it!
Yes, we did! A great success! You played your part perfectly. Thank you so much. Now, let us hurry back to Minato and see the transformation.
Yes. I can't wait to see what's happening around town. Let's go! Amazing! Amazing! never dreamed this could happen. Everything is working again. It's like life has been restored to the whole town. Every karakuri is working again. Oh, then the karakuri at the forge will be... This I have to see.
Well, Natsuma's happy. To be honest, there are dozens of things I'd like to experiment with, too. And if you wouldn't mind, I'll be needing your help with many of them. Wow. Isn't this something? I expect you're dying to look around town. I know I am. Just think of the dust flying off all those old karakuri as they spring back to life. The bathhouse near the town gates, for example. It couldn't have gone better. And it's all thanks to you.
Sumimasen. I just can't stop watching. It's so fascinating. This karakuri can maintain a higher temperature in the hearth. That would mean I could forge various materials I couldn't forge before. So I'll be much more used to you now. The times I've tried and failed to get all the things in this forge working again. Most of this equipment has been gathering dust. Minato could thrive again, like in the old days. I honestly don't know how to express my gratitude. Just... arigato. Now that the karakuri are all working again, and it's got me thinking. I've passed it a few times when I've been out looking for materials. If we could whip it into shape, which would be good for both of us. All right, let's get this new camp set up. We should aim for the highlands to the north, just beyond the Sakura Cave. Here we are then. Let's get to work. Let me know when you're finished over there. The camp's coming together nicely, I think. Time for a break, maybe? Alright then, let's. Just tell me whenever you want to stop. The camp's coming together nicely, I think. Time for a break, maybe? We can have a chat while we catch our breath. You came to Minato from the west, didn't you? That means you must have walked right around the foot of the secret mountain. That's what we call it. But people from Minato don't venture that way anymore. It was a sacred place for the hunters of old. Much like the Spirit Isle, I think. But I've never heard of any settlements or trucks that way. I suppose the weather's too inhospitable. I suppose it is. They're called eternity ringlets. That particular type of kocho. In the old days, some people even thought that humans in Kemono turned into kocho when they died. Anyway, ready to get back to work? Let's leave it there for today, shall we? Another one? They're getting very frequent lately. Is it asleep?
Really? Interesting.
It was like a moving mountain.
It reminds me of something I read in the records from centuries ago. If this is the same creature, even the strange behavior we observed in the other kimono could be traced back to this giant.
All my life I've lived in Minato, and I had no idea such a kimono lived so close.
Well, kimono only stray outside of their territory in exceptional circumstances. Remember, all kimono, no matter how big or small, are sustained by the same energy, celestial thread. And since celestial thread is ubiquitous, they have no need to wander in search of it.
But then, why has this kimono... could it be because there's no thread left in its territory, perhaps?
Yes, that's my hypothesis too. Now, we recently flooded our town with celestial thread by restoring the karakuri on the Spirit Isle. So, unfortunately, we've made Minato look rather appetizing.
But that's terrible. That means this kimono is going to expand its territory this way and swallow us up.
I wish I could fault your logic, and I'm afraid we can't reverse what we've done. I had a nagging feeling that something might go wrong, but not this wrong. If only I had investigated the possible outcomes more thoroughly.
No one's to blame. Didn't you say you'd encountered this bear once before?
Oh. So that means it comes from a habitat to the north. But no, we don't have time to be pondering the cause. Are you serious? I realize your hunting skills are exceptional, but no single person could dispatch a beast of that size. Even if everyone in town pulled together, the best we could hope to do is give it a nasty surprise to begin with before... No, come on, Suzuran. You owe it to Minato to fix this. Going along the Harugasumi Way, its enormous bulk will mean it has to descend into the river. I think that's the only workable strategy at this point. What I need you to do is buy us some time.
Sorry, I need to go and test something.
It's going to take all we've got to overcome this threat. The town needs your help now more than ever. Believe me, I'm doing everything I can think of.
Good. You're here.
If we can...
Sorry to run off in the middle of a conversation like that. I'll come straight to the point. I need some kimono materials, and I need them fast. I started playing around with some new innovations after all the karakuri came back to life, you see. And I think I might have come up with a weapon we can use to fight that giant kimono. It's clearly a rock kimono of some kind, isn't it? Did you notice how its body was covered in deep crevices? And how Kocho were fluttering around those parts? In the same sort of way that they swarm over the corpses of Kemono, or their wounds. Well, if those crevices are wounds too, they could be weak points. And with my new weapon, we could target them from the ground. Which is why I really need those materials. I'm basically after a large quantity of iron sand. More than we have time to dig out of the ground, though. But I've remembered that Nobu mentioned a rumor about a kemono that scatters iron sand. I am sorry to be asking yet another favor, but do you think you could help?
Well, heard the news. Sounds like we're sailing into a real storm. I've seen how seriously you and the sensei are taking it. And I'll pitch in any way I can. Although, to be honest, all I can really do to help is get you manpower. But if you think of anything else, just shout. I'll do it. Need me for something else? Iron sand? Ah! You're talking about the Sunatsuzumi. Yeah, you see those grit dogs on the shore of the Spirit Isle from time to time. If you're looking for one, I can show you a place where they often seem to gather.
How goes the gathering? Whatever it takes, we have to. got them already? Arigato. I should be able to put the weapon together now. It won't take long. I'm going to make the greatest weapon you've ever seen in the shortest time imaginable. I really don't know how effective my weapons will be against that huge creature.